Beef, why do you have such a problem with me?
Can we get the real Andy? I would prefer the real Andy.
Oh, let's get the real Max. I'll take off my mask when you take off your mask, brother.
Because who's your new favorite YouTuber, Ian, that wanted to be on the show with us?
The Madman. The Madman.
Mad Movie Man.
Let's bring on Max Movies because he scares the living shit out of me. Hold on.
Oh, wow.
Mad Max says, I think you should apologize. Right? I'm sitting here in a goddamn torn down pool house.
I don't even know who
the
you
pool house
are.
is torn apart. Okay, it's torn apart because I'm remodeling on my $70 webcam. Okay, I'm no better than you.
Movie Madness Entertainment.
Welcome. Just for a quick stream. I had everything set up and I didn't want to take out my microphone and my camera and just go to bed. I'm kind of not tired yet. Thought we'd cover a few topics. Bruce is saying already, we talked about the shake my head. I just had to get something in for the thumbnail. Yeah, we could talk about it real quick. I know we mentioned it before. You got plans for tomorrow. That's awesome, Isaac. I hope you have great plans for the end of the year. Also, I wanted to stream a little bit more while my hair is still decent, because once I go to bed, I don't know how it's gonna look when I have to do this on my own. I need to get some hair product. And then, do you notice the blue at all? It just looks white still. I also wanted to start. I got one more cassette tape in the mail. I used my Amazon points. I got the tape that I got from my pal Bruce. Nirvana Bleach. Very affordable price. I wanted to unbox it because I'm listening to mine. And then I brought up some tapes to listen to before I go to bed. This is one I made for my mother, and she's like, "Don't make me tapes." Oh, I made her a tape. I made her a copy of the tape. This is a blank I got from a thrift store. And then I love this album, Bruce. You need to get this one. Foo Fighters. Nowhere. But here we are. So I thought real quick I will unbox this on camera, because I am going to most ones I get sealed, I'm gonna on camera open it if I can. It's hard to do this while watching and making sure. It's a cool tape too. This is the only one you could get like affordable. Bleach. It's the first Nirvana tape, I believe, or first Nirvana album. Max mix. Yes, I am going to make a mixtape. That's why I bought a cassette deck. That has one for listening, one for recording. Okay, so there. Some plastic off the tape. And I don't know if this was how the tape was originally or not. But look, it's very shiny. Nirvana Bleach. Sub Pop. That's why it got a re-release. The label Sub Pop has put out a lot of cassettes. So this might have been before Nirvana was signed to a major label, and that's why this one's affordable, and the major label ones haven't been re-released. But Sub Pop has a lot of cassettes out there, at least I believe. Although my plastic case is a little cracked, so I'm jealous of Bruce. I think he's keeping his sealed. So here is the tape. that's a cool looking tape, cassette tape. Okay, so that's all for that. Talk about. Let me bring up a real quick article. I know that people have covered it already. Alan Richardson. Okay, let's just bring up IGN because that's the one I brought up first. Let's bring this up here. And have you been watching Reacher? Have any of you been watching Reacher? I only saw a few episodes. It was pretty fun. I want to finish it. I know a lot of people. I know he's doing really well on Amazon. I'll be honest with you. I've known about this actor since Smallville, I believe, when he played Aquaman. I think he was even in an Aquaman pilot spinoff of Smallville that never happened. And I never really thought of him as like a leading man. And I think he's one that actually has improved his craft as an actor. I think he's gotten really, really good. And I think where the project that you could see the most progress in his acting ability is actually Titans. I think he did really good as Titans, as Dove and Hawk, as Hawk. And then I want to actually get on and go back and watch Reacher season 1 and 2, and I believe they have already greenlit a season 3 for Reacher. But here's him responding to the rumors. Now, here's the problem. Even if he would be a good fit, I don't think James Gunn likes people telling him this person would be good. I think James Gunn likes the challenge of finding people for the roles himself, and is not really open to other people's suggestions, in my opinion. But he also does an amazing job. At the same point. So if an actor's asking for consideration, I don't think he's going to consider it. I think he's going to search out himself and find someone who he thinks fits the role. So I actually think this is a strike against Alan, saying that I would like the role. I think that makes it more unlikely that James Gunn would do it. That's just my personal opinion over his castings before and how he responds to people on the internet suggesting things. He's got his own plans, and I don't think anyone else is going to change that. Reacher's Alan Richardson has responded to recent rumors that he'll play Batman, and yes, he would love to. During an interview with Fortress of Solitude, the Reacher star addressed the rumor that he could be tapped to play DCU's new Batman. With all the rumors flying that I'm supposed to be playing Batman, how can I knock Batman? He said. I would love to play Batman. So I guess the rumor started first. I was under assumption that he was suggesting it, but no, I guess he's responding to the rumors. Filmmaker and renowned comic book fan Kevin Smith recently referred to Richardson's version of Reacher as Batman without a cape, and it certainly got fans talking. Many assumed that since Smith is friends with former Batman Ben Affleck, that he has close ties to the DC universe, that he may have inadvertently hinted at who may be the DCU's new Batman. No, I think that's just Kevin Smith talking. Whatever the case, looks like though Richardson himself is a big fan of the comparison. It's a great analogy, actually, he said. But I mean, Batman has got like a cave. And Reacher doesn't have a house. He's got a toothbrush. So I think Batman has got cool stuff. Dude is loaded. He has caves, penthouses, and spotlights that call him Batman's cooler. There was also something in the news as well on Twitter. Let me see if I could find it real quick. With Alan Richardson as well. I retweeted it. Let me see if I could find it quickly. it's gonna take a second. It's actually about him wanting to thank Tom Cruise for, getting the world popular of Reacher. And I believe he reached out to a partner of Tom Cruise through the production company and wrote him a letter saying that it was, very, I guess, giving accolades to Cruz and saying how great it was that he made the role, and he's very happy. And then the partner of Tom Cruise at the production company said, no, this isn't cool to send him. And they never sent it to him. I think that's actually really lame. I think Tom Cruise would. Oh, here it is. It's apparently it's Screen Rant. It's Skydance. Yes, Anthony. That's the next topic I want to bring up real quick. Again, I'm gonna get to bed, so I'm not gonna be up late here. But I thought I'd do a few quick movie topics, and please thumbs up this video. But here is the part where I guess it's Screen Rant. We would not have the success that we have without it. So out of gratitude, I write him a loving, heartfelt letter and gave it to a partner of his at Skydance. And he said, we're not going to give it to him. It's a terrible idea. And everything that I've heard about Tom Cruise lately is that he's like such so passionate. Oh, Joe's here. Cool. Hey, Joe.
Hey.
I was talking about, I'm going to do, this is going to be a quick stream, then I'm going to go to bed. Probably at 3 is the cutoff.
Yeah, I should go to bed, but I don't know. I got a cat on me.
Covering a few topics. This is about Alan Ritchson. Apparently the rumors start from Kevin Smith saying that Reacher's like Batman without a cape. And then fans started asking him. And then this was very interesting that I retweeted this on Twitter. Alan Ritchson wrote a grateful message to fellow Reacher star Tom Cruise, but he never got it. He gave it to a partner at Skydance saying that I'll read it again. We would not have the success that we have without it. So out of gratitude, I write him a loving, heartfelt letter, and I gave it to a partner of his at Skydance, and he said, we're not going to give it to him. It's a terrible idea.
Why?
Everything, I don't know. Everything that I've heard about Tom Cruise lately, there was an actress recently that was really saying that he was nothing but great.
Yeah, it was Hannah Waddington from Ted Lasso was just singing.
Yes, that's who it was. That's who it was. And he just seems like, I know there's rumors about him and his relationships or whatever and his religion, but everything I've heard with people in the industry is just he's just like
I've heard
so
nothing,
passionate.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good stories about him.
And
seems to
I
love him.
really like Alan Ritchson. You probably know him. Where did you know him first? Smallville as Aquaman?
Yeah, Smallville and Titans as Hawk and Dove. And
have you watched Reacher?
Honestly, I have not seen Reacher. I love the movies. I love the Tom Cruise movies.
I watched the first 2 episodes, and I never went. I mean, I was enjoying it, but I never finished it. And I've always wanted to go. Maybe if I get my dad over here, unfortunately my dad's not doing so good again. I was just there all day, and then he went to the hospital and he's having some complications. But if I get him over to visit over this 3-day weekend, because I have off Monday too, I'll see if he wants to watch Reacher. But I actually never seen the first Reacher movie. I saw the second one because we rented it. We rented it on Redbox, but I've never seen the first one. I heard the second one's the bad one.
Well, I don't think the second one's bad.
It's just not as good.
But no, it's not nearly as good. The first one is fantastic.
But why would Screen Rant's a pretty big outlet to go with it? Why would they go run with this? Like, they really should have gave that. That's lame of the Skydance partner. Like, everything I've heard about Tom Cruise is he'd probably really appreciate something like that.
Yeah, that's really weird.
That's why I tweet him like, this doesn't seem right. But I hope he gets that letter. And would you like to see him as consideration for Batman for Batman the Brave and the Bold.
Well, to be fair, I haven't seen Reacher.
Mhm.
I know people say it's fantastic.
Just
but
as you know
I haven't
now,
seen
then
it.
without that.
From Hawk and Dove, and I mean, he's never really impressed me. Like, I mean, I don't think he's bad. Like, you know, I'd watch Titans. It wasn't like, oh, this guy's awful, but he never really stood out to me in any way. So I don't know, unless you know he's really nailing it hard on Reacher. Honestly, the one fan casting rumor for Batman that keeps coming up that I'm totally in favor of is Jensen Ackles. I'd love to see Jensen Ackles do it.
Oh yeah, but maybe his being so popular character on The Boys might throw a wrench in that. I don't know.
Interestingly enough, both of these guys, Jensen Ackles and Alan Ritchson, they both have double DC credits in their past. From you know, Hawk and Smallville for Richardson, and Smallville and doing the voice of Batman and some animated things for Ackles.
Mhm. Well, I would like either one of them. I think Jensen Ackles is going to be a bigger star than he is now. Even he's just got he's got a tight fan base, and I know because my wife used to watch Supernatural.
Oh yes,
those conventions are crazy.
Yeah, Supernatural is huge.
Yeah.
Though oddly enough, I think the most popular one on Supernatural was always Castiel. And other than Two-Face on that
I don't think
Batman
so.
show,
I don't think so. Jensen's character. Whew.
I don't know. I think all the girls loved Castiel.
They liked him too, but I'm pretty sure. And maybe just my wife. I don't know. But here's another story, and I actually have two stories to combine this one, and it's about Superman Legacy. It's good news. Now this is a rumor, but I think it's very likely. And also looking at Warner Brothers next year, they're upping the ante, I think, with IMAX. The rumor is from Comic Oddity. Sorry, I messed it up. And I wanted to cover this the other day. Rumor: James Gunn will film Superman Legacy entirely in IMAX and plans to have an exclusive IMAX release for the movie. I think that should happen. I would like even beyond just the aspect ratio, me personally, I would like extra scenes in the IMAX version over the regular release. I think that is where the industry should go. I've been covering movies. I like a lot of different forms of movies. Listen, I still have a 3D TV and 3D Blu-rays. I like new technology, and the most consistent new technology, the one that still brings the boys to the yard, I'm just kidding, to the theater, the boys to the theater, is an IMAX really premium format. And Christopher Nolan has done a lot. James Cameron has done a lot for the format, but I think the next, and the Mission Impossible movies too, have done a lot for the IMAX format. But I think the next logical conclusion is an entire blockbuster movie all in IMAX, and then go a step further. I would like bonus scenes just for IMAX, like to even be, I'm not talking about the Snyder extended cut to be a 3 hours to a 2 hour. I'm talking about like 5 or 10 extra minutes of extra IMAX goodness. Give people bang for the buck. And I'm all for this. And if this happens, I will see Superman Legacy IMAX day one. If it's an IMAX intended release, like they really support the format with even the filming. But Joe, I'd like to get your thoughts there on Superman Legacy, the whole film being an IMAX, and what your thoughts are. Well, you do see IMAX movies, right, with your plan?
Rarely.
Rarely.
I very rarely go to an IMAX. I mean, I kind of find IMAX to be a pain in the ass because there's so few IMAX theaters around, And then they have those theaters
Well-
that are affectionately called the LIMAX theaters, where they claim they're IMAX, but they're
Yeah.
not really.
Well, here's the differential though. If more companies start doing this and start reaping the rewards from it, then that's going to force some theaters to upgrade to have legit IMAX screens more
I-
often, more theaters. And I think that is the future that you have to. I think you should have more theaters with 1 or 2 IMAX screens.
Maybe.
I mean, premium theaters. I mean,
Maybe. I don't know. I don't really. I mean, IMAX is fine. It doesn't do much for me. I mean, it's
well,
just
look at Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer did
Yeah.
amazing IMAX. Even Mission Impossible was doing decent IMAX before Oppenheimer took it out, and that's the other issue is when you have competing movies now. I think the IMAX kind of like really affects the box office when there's just regular screens. Like when maybe Mission Impossible might have done better, Joe, if Oppenheimer didn't take over the screens, because then it just went to the regular format, and they're like, well, why?
honestly, I personally, I don't think it makes much of a difference on the box office, because like I think if you look at something like Oppenheimer, people went out to see it in droves. Most people did not see it in IMAX because there aren't enough IMAX theaters out there. I think most people were just seeing it in standard format. And
Oppenheimer IMAX was sold out for weeks. Well, you're saying because there's limited, then I guess.
yeah. So it's like the majority, aren't seeing it in that format because
I'm
it's
sure
limited.
there's been movies filmed
Oh,
entirely in IMAX. I have to find out which ones.
Oppenheimer was shot entirely in IMAX.
I don't think all of it. No,
I'm pretty
there
sure
were
it was.
certain scenes. Well, let me see. I know the aspect ratio changed for certain scenes.
Honestly, I think the biggest problem with IMAX too is that it's more expensive. To see a movie in IMAX, I think getting people in theaters, if anything, we need a lot. The number one complaint. I was actually talking about this at my theater today. I was talking to the manager at my theater, and the number one complaint we always hear, why don't people go to the theater, is it's too expensive. And we were talking about how, quite frankly, it's never been cheaper to go to the movies than right
Okay,
now.
so to answer, Reddit says, to answer your question, Oppenheimer was not entirely shot in IMAX. There's a mix of standard 70 millimeter and IMAX 70 millimeter. And I think that's for most IMAX movies. So if James Gunn does the full, I would love that. Would love that. But here's the other thing I wanted to show you though, Joe, and show the audience is Warner Brothers in 2024. And I would love the Batman 2 to be all IMAX as well. But you have to see this. Oh man, where is it? I just had it. Darn it. I'll have to find it.
Yeah, but we were talking in the theater today, the manager and I, about how people keep saying that it's so expensive to see a movie, and in actuality, with these subscription plans like Regal Unlimited, AMC, A-List, it's really never been cheaper to see a movie. But the problem is people don't know about these because they advertise them in the theater. And I'm like, well, you've already got the people who are coming to the theater. If you are only advertising the theater, you got to put it on TV so that the people who aren't coming to the theater know about this deal.
I can't find the tweet. Basically, the tweet said about Warner Brothers and IMAX. Dune 2. What else is coming out next year for Warner Brothers? And they have an IMAX heavy.
Joker.
Yeah, Joker. They have an IMAX heavy release schedule for 2024. And they actually didn't do horrible at the end of this year, but Warner Bros. was only one of the only studios actively releasing films, though, with Wonka, Aquaman 2.
There was an article in Variety about how the theaters are bracing themselves to lose like billions next year because this year was so poor. in terms of ticket sales. And next year, there's less movies coming out because of the strikes.
Yeah. 2024.
Which is part of why I said it wasn't a good time for a strike. I said, I understand. I want those guys to get everything they deserve, but we were still in a recovery period. It's hard to strike it when you're actively in a recovery, trying to save the industry.
Godzilla X Kong.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one.
That's gonna be IMAX. I don't know if that was in, June Part 2. Oh, upcoming Warner Brothers movies. Let me see. Let me bring this up here. I had the tweet and I lost it. I apologize, everyone. The Color Purple, but that's not like an IMAX focused.
That's
release.
doing really well from what I hear. I hear that's like Color Purple and Wonka are kind of like the superstar movies out right now.
Dune Part 2, which I'm going to see. Mickey 17. I don't know what that is.
I think I saw a trailer for that. I can't remember what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
That's what I was forgetting. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. That should be an IMAX release. Godzilla X Kong.
Beetlejuice
Joker.
2.
Lord of the Rings, The War. This is animation.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was going to be animation. Let me see. Isaac, the biggest movie fan, says the only Warner Brothers movies that I am excited for next year are Joker 2 and Doom Part 2. I'm excited for Joker 2. I want to see Furiosa Mad Max Saga. I'm not really excited. Like from what I saw the trailer looked kind of okay to me. A little underwhelming. Like I did not like Chris Hemsworth's character. Maybe in context I'll like it. Godzilla X Kong just looks like fun to me. Doom Part 2 definitely. My wife actually watched Dune Part 1 again the other day. It's been a while since I've seen it. But yeah, the Lord of the Rings, Joker, Furiosa, Godzilla X Kong, and Doom Part 2. I don't know what Alto Knights is. And this is animation. Because Zaslav said he wants to reinvigorate Lord of the Rings, So
hey, are you excited about the three Pixar movies that were released direct to streaming coming to theaters in early 2024? You heard about this, right?
Yeah, I heard it somewhere.
Lucas, Soul, and Turning Red all coming to theaters finally.
Yeah, I'm glad that they finally get a chance to do that. Will I go see it again? Probably not.
I will definitely go see Turning Red on the big screen. I mean, that's the best of the three. I think I could probably skip on Soul. I wasn't crazy about Soul.
Yeah, I don't even know if I finished Turning Red. I wasn't hating it or anything. I was like, okay, I get it. And I just never finished. I'll go back and watch it, but honestly, I'd rather go see a new movie in the theater.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think there's going to be many new movies next year.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Let me bring this up. Speaking of not much movies, this is something that I wanted to look at, and then I also wanted to ask the question. Well, I know with you here, I think I know your answer because you love movies.
I do love movies,
but movies in 2023 versus TV in 2023, and there is some TV that I missed out and is on my to binge list. I want to go back and watch some of these shows. Like you were saying, maybe 2024 is going to be a little bit light on movie releases. It's going to be a little sporadic. So, streaming TV shows as well. So go back and, especially because you want some of these shows to continue after strike. So go back and find some good TV shows on I wouldn't say go and get a new streaming service, but ones you already subscribe to, go and look up some of these shows. I know one of them right off the bat in this image, it says the best shows of 2023 is The Bear. I keep hearing about it. I was able to laugh at the Snyder clip. You know what? Did you see the clip from The Bear where he's talking? Oh, it's very funny. It went viral. They were making fun of Snyder fans. You would actually appreciate it. I would play it now, but I don't want to get a claim on this because I just want to,
Hey, I just saw that guy in a movie.
Oh yeah. Did you see it?
I went to see the Ironclad.
Yeah.
I wasn't terribly impressed. People keep saying it's really good, but to me, like, here's the thing. I came out interested in the story, and I actually came home and found a TV documentary about the same family.
Sure.
And I found the documentary much more interesting. The movie, it's something about the pacing. Like it feels like you're just watching a series of tragic events.
Well, I definitely want to go see it myself.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear you weren't, but it's getting you. Maybe your expectations were a little bit higher because of all the buzz.
A lot of people have been saying it's so good, it's so good, and I went and I'm just like, and I think this is the problem you have a lot of times with like docudramas because they're trying to do it in a narrative like a like storytelling narrative, but they're also trying to hit like years worth of story. So you sometimes get to a point where it's just like you just feel like you're watching vignettes, like. And then this happened, and then this happened, and it's I don't know. I feel like it was a pacing issue for me.
All right, well, fair enough. Are you going to do
apparently there's a brother in this family. Like there was a brother who got cut from the movie. There was like one other brother. So I like just watched the movie, thought I knew and then I watched this documentary, and I'm like, oh, there was another one.
Oh. Well,
it's like when you find out Ozzy Osbourne has one more daughter.
Are you going to do a review of it?
Probably.
Okay, cool. Because I would like to watch your review, but I also want to see it for myself before I watch your review.
Yeah.
So hopefully, on this upcoming 3-day weekend, maybe I could sneak to the theater, get to see it. But have you heard of The Bear though?
I've heard the title.
Okay, so here's the top 25. We'll go through these pretty quick because I'm also going to end at 3 because I have to get to sleep. But you know what? I love talking movie reviews, and DL does a great job. But I also get like, if I don't cover news and movie topics, I have so much on my mind. So I wanted to cover this stuff. The Crowded Room, Apple TV Plus. Tom Holland turned in one hell of a performance in The Crowded Room. The series which banks on a substantial twist. I don't want to read any more. I might check that out. I do have Apple Plus. I love Apple Plus. I've watched Monarch on it. What's that space for all mankind? Yeah. And then there was another Foundation, which I need to get back to Foundation. I actually liked Foundation so much that I did not watch the finale of season 1 because I was waiting for season 2, and then season 2 came out. So I actually have to watch the last episode of season 1, and then I have all of season 2, and hopefully it still continues.
There's been some good stuff on Apple. Shrinking is fantastic.
Hey, Zeno. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, if you're just getting here, please thumbs up the video. This is just, and Zeno hates when I say this, but this is going to be a short video. Zeno, I know you're going to be fair to me. What do you think of my new haircut? In my my goatee that's dyed blue.
Look at ET lying on the mat or the pillow there, getting a little nap in.
Have you now? When we go through these, though, Joe, tell me if you've heard anything or heard of them at all, or heard any good things.
Yeah, I haven't heard of Crowded Room or Dead Ringers.
Dead Ringers on Prime Video.
Yeah, not familiar with it.
Remaking David Cronenberg. Okay, Sweet Tooth. Have you heard of that?
Heard of it. I didn't watch it.
Bupkis. Pete Davidson.
Yeah, that's a full pass on me. You lost me at Pete Davidson.
You're not a fan? Okay. The King of Staten Island was pretty good. I like him. I'm not like a super fan or anything. You know, I look like a man's man. Ooh, thank you, Zeno. Handsome man, thank you. So is Joe. So is Joe. I like Pete Davidson. The other reason I like him is I feel like I watched him. His father passed in 9/11, and it was a really
Yeah.
great experience seeing him get a role on Saturday Night Live. And he has gotten better since he started. He's not amazing, but I root for him though. And for some reason, the ladies in the entertainment industry love him. He gets around a lot. He's like the Taylor Swift of comedians. He he gets a lot of action for whatever reason. Okay, but Bupkis, I haven't heard of that. I have Peacock. Oh, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. I do actually want to see that.
There's a TV show of Scott Pilgrim.
It's animated. It's animated.
Oh, I hadn't heard of that.
Yeah. See, there you go.
I didn't really like the Scott Pilgrim movie.
I love the video game. I know it's also a comic.
Oh, I didn't know there was a video
A
game.
Murder at the End of the World. In fact, I haven't heard a lot of this stuff.
I haven't heard of that.
New direction with this whodunit. Man. Mrs. Davis? Loki. Everyone's heard of Loki.
Yeah, I heard of Loki. I watched Loki. I didn't like Loki.
Lucky Hank. It's a shame that this AMC series is recently canceled after just one. See, if I'm not going to go to it if it's canceled. It's another spinoff from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
No, it doesn't say it's a spinoff. It's Bob Odenkirk followed up.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, it's a comedy starring Bob Odenkirk. So you know what? You got my attention. I like Bob
But it's
Odenkirk.
canceled though.
Yeah, but that's okay. It doesn't change what's already there.
Now, Black Mirror, I've heard a lot about, and I've just never watched it.
I've seen a few episodes. What I've seen is pretty good.
Yeah,
but I need
Barry,
to watch
I've
more.
heard of, and I actually gave it a shot, and me and my wife weren't feeling it. Season 1, but I haven't revisited it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I keep hearing I need to check it out.
Yeah, Joe Pesci is in Bupkis. Okay. Oh yeah, I do want to see that. I do want to see that. I remember because that made the movie talk news because that was one of his projects he took after The Irishman. The Irishman got him out of retirement.
Yeah.
So I actually really want to see that now because I really respect Joe Pesci, especially in his later years, about him retiring. He only comes back if he really wants to do the art. Really, he's not coming back for money as much as I know, at least. And he was the best part of The Irishman. Did you watch The Irishman?
I did.
Okay, did you like it?
Yeah.
I think he was the best part. Robert De Niro was decent, but his character was the best for me. And I would love to see him and Pete Davidson interact. Even though I'm not a Pete Davidson super fan, I think with a actor as strong as Joe Pesci is in his later years, I think that's going to enhance Davidson's performance. Barry, I want to give another shot. Swarm?
I haven't heard of Swarm.
After the conclusion of Atlanta, did you ever see Atlanta? I know people talked about that all the time.
No. I love how Donald Glover left Community because he didn't want to do television anymore, and then he went and did another television show.
Yeah, it's true.
I love Shrinking. Christine and I just went crazy for Shrinking.
What? Oh, you've seen it?
Oh God, yeah. It was one of our favorite shows this year. We can't wait for season 2.
Jason Segel.
Yeah, Jason Segel. Jason Segel.
Well, you loved him from How I Met Your Mother and Muppets. I know he's a Muppet fan.
Yeah, and Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford in a sitcom.
Wow.
It's a sitcom.
It's a sitcom.
Harrison Ford, man.
Okay. I'm definitely watching this then.
Yeah, it's really good.
Barry is great. Okay.
Yeah, he's basically a shrink who starts telling his patients what he really thinks. And and Harrison Ford's like the senior psychiatrist in the practice, and he's like, "You can't do this. This is not how it's done." It leads to
oh wow, I really want to see that now.
Yeah, it's really good.
The Fall of the House of Usher.
That's from the same guy that did Haunting of Hill House, right?
I guess so. The Fall of the House of Usher may be the definitive Edgar Allan Poe adaptation using many stories and characters from the legendary writer's entire bibliography. Okay. I'll be honest, I've heard of that. I'm probably not going to check that out. Star Trek Picard I loved. I never went. I don't know if I'm going to go back and watch the first 2 seasons though. I do want to see Strange New Worlds.
Strange New World. Picard was great. Strange New Worlds is the best Star Trek series we've had since Deep Space Nine.
Okay, cool.
The Strange New Worlds is it's just fantastic.
All right. Oh, Isaac, the biggest movie fan. Oh, wait. Let me see what Zeno's saying first. Watch The Fall of House of Usher. Mark Hamill is amazing, but it's kind of scary. Oh, Mark Hamill's in it? Okay. And then Isaac, the biggest movie fan, $9.99. I really appreciate that, Isaac. Thank you for all the support you showed the channel. And Isaac is one of my favorite viewers because he's really positive, and I like that he says the biggest movie fan. That's great. So, let's see what he says here. I love Jason Momoa's Aquaman, but do you guys think in the new DCU, Aquaman should be more like how he is in the comics? The guy who wants to defend Atlantis and his throne because is that Aquaman? I would like to see a different version. Like we saw the way Jason did. I think he did fine. I really liked him in the first one. I liked him in the Justice League movies, a Batman, Justice League, not Batman vs Superman. He was just teased. I would like to see I'd like to see the more like classic style Aquaman, I guess. The Aquaman that he portrays in these new movies is also portrayed in the later comics, I think. I'm not a huge comic historian like some of the panelists on MME like Bruce, and I know Joe, you've read some comics, DC comics in the past.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know all the intricacies of classic Aquaman versus current Aquaman, but I think the vibe that the Aquaman is from the James Wan, Jason Momoa movies is more modern style Aquaman comics than classic even with the long hair and the beard. I don't know when that was introduced, but I kind of would like a throwback to the old style now that we saw this version. If they're going to do it again, that's the thing. When you have multiple versions of characters, it's good to change it up. I would like a kind of a blonde hair Aquaman, kind of more clean cut than
I think the smartest thing you could do is bring Jason Momoa back.
Okay.
Because Aquaman's such a tough nut to crack. If you're not careful, he can come off as just laughable. I mean, he's a guy whose powers, the joke is he talks to fish.
Yeah.
And they kind of pulled off an amazing feat and made Aquaman cool. And that's not easy to do. So I don't know. I'm not saying they can't do it, but I think that's that's a dangerous game there. So right. I don't know. I think they might be smart. I think
James Gunn can handle it though if they went that way. If they didn't bring Jason back, I think he's doing more like I'm assuming the Superman Legacy is going to be a more classic style of Superman.
Yeah,
I'm assuming. Yes, we are live. Strange. Thank you. Loki is so good. So Ted Lasso, I really enjoyed Ted Lasso. I just didn't finish it, and I never went back.
Hell of a good show.
That's made by Warner Brothers.
It got better every season too. It was like it just kept getting better.
I'm a Virgo, Prime Video. I don't know. I'm not, The Curse on Showtime.
I bailed. Showtime. I bailed on The Curse. I watched 2 episodes of The Curse, and it's just a little too weird. Now, Nathan Fielder, I don't know if you've ever seen his old show, Nathan For You.
Mm-mm.
Nathan For You was hilarious.
Well, Showtime is just Showtime. Well, I'm going to bed soon, Strange. It's me and Joe.
Paramount Plus. It's Paramount Plus. Showtime's Paramount Plus.
We'll probably do a quick 15 more minutes of topics, and then I got to get to bed because I got a long day tomorrow at work. Although I got a 3-day weekend coming up. Yeah. Okay. Showtime. I have a lot of subscription service. I can't do Showtime too. And in this there's nothing in Showtime that's really like.
Do you have Paramount Plus?
Yeah.
Then you have Showtime.
Oh, I do?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
included
okay.
with Paramount Plus.
All right. Justified. I love Justified. I did not see City Primeval. I have Hulu. I just didn't check it out yet.
I've never seen Justified.
You have to babysit at 9 a.m. Okay. Watch some superhero stuff. Beef.
No,
Netflix.
I hear Beef is great. I haven't seen it, but I hear it's great.
Stephen Yeun and Ali Wong. Oh, okay. Is this a movie or a series?
Series on Netflix. I think it's a comedy.
I saw Ali Wong. She was a writer for Fresh Off the Boat. Do you know that show?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. Wasn't what's his name? Oh God, the podcast. How did this get made? Paul Scheer. Wasn't Paul Scheer on that show?
I don't know. I can't remember all their names. But she does stand up. She's a writer, and then she also developed a movie that I watched for Netflix, and it was pretty funny. It was like romantic comedy, a lot of Asian talent in it. She's Asian, of course, but that's like coming off the popularity of Crazy Rich Asians. A lot of those those talent involved in that you see in some of these projects. So I'm assuming it will be at least fun. I'd probably check that out. Fargo FX on Hulu. I've heard all kinds of great things about Fargo, the series. I just don't say this is blasphemy, but I enjoyed Fargo the movie, but I just never really got into it like as much as people do. But I heard the series is amazing.
Yeah, apparently it changes every season. It's like an ensemble,
okay.
What's the word? Anthology. Every season's a completely different thing.
Succession. I tried to watch that with. I think the bad decision was I tried to start watching with my mother, and there's a lot of adult language, and she just isn't about that. I was like, and then I didn't go back to it myself. But I do want to see Succession. I've heard great things about it. Poker Face.
I watched a couple episodes of Poker Face. Now I love Ryan Johnson.
Ryan? Okay.
But I couldn't really get into Poker Face.
Natasha Lyonne, do you like her as a?
Yeah, she's pretty good, but
I heard Russian Dolls was great too. That she was in before that, and I never watched that either. And that's the lead of The Acolyte.
I hear good things.
Last of Us, I loved.
I bailed on The Last of Us.
Oh, I love that. And The Bear got #1.
Yeah, I've never seen The Bear.
And
Strange New Worlds isn't on this list. What We Do in the Shadows isn't on this list. That's one of my favorite shows.
You know what? I love the first season of What We Do in the Shadows and the second season, and then after that, it just felt so samey to me.
Oh man,
that's what I mean by like Taika Waititi type projects. I think it's really fresh, and then after a while, it just seems stale.
No, see, I couldn't say that about What We Do in the Shadows. I always find that it seems to just get weirder and weirder every season.
So that was a decent list. Joe has his own list. I also want to go back to Frasier. I started watching Frasier because you and your podcast with your friend. And then is it season 1 over?
It is. I really enjoyed it. We haven't gotten word on a season 2 yet. They haven't announced it yet, but
let me try to finish the season, and then maybe we could do a show with me and your pal, a season recap, and see what we expectations of season 2 or something. That might be fun.
Yeah.
Because definitely. I want to watch it.
Oh, and Night Court's back. Night Court came back with a Christmas episode last week.
Oh, wait a second of this. Oh, I heard that Night Court's good.
But here's the weird thing. Night Court ended season 1 with a cliffhanger. And they clearly showed the Christmas episode out of sequence because they didn't even reference like how season 1 ended.
This is weird. Let me bring this up.
Quantum Leap.
This
Quantum Leap.
I may have to bring up another article on this. I'm a huge James Cameron fan. I know you. Or how are you feel about James Cameron?
I
Tina?
I don't love him.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Nick-
his
Nick, you feel
older stuff, like the Aliens, Terminator. I mean, that stuff's classic. But
well, there was a lot of criticism of the True Lies 4K release and restoration, a remaster,
yeah,
where the AI actually made things look weird, like
yeah,
Tom Arnold and Arnold looked a little weird with all the stuff going on the 4K release. It got a lot of criticism, and now I'm assuming that this carried over because now they were going to release. Man, the Abyss has such a hard time getting into new formats, but they're canceling the 4K release.
in the UK.
Oh, but this does. Oh, okay.
In the UK, it's not
It's
being
just-
canceled here.
Oh, okay. I didn't read it yet, so you read ahead. Okay. The Abyss 4K release has been canceled in the UK because of the rat scene. What? Are we getting to a weird world of censorship again with older movies? Let me see what's about this rat scene. I haven't seen the movie in a long time. I have the DVD special edition. I think it skipped Blu-ray. I don't think it made Blu-ray.
No, it hasn't been on Blu-ray.
Yeah. So I think the only way you could have got it before this was VHS and DVD. Very limited, and it's a good movie. Let me see. December has been packed with 4K releases of James Cameron films. First up was the release of Titanic 25th anniversary. 4K digital releases The Abyss, Aliens, True Lies, Avatar, and Avatar: The Way of Water followed on December 12th. And Avatar movies also got new physical media releases. March 12th is the date when Disney is going to give The Abyss, Aliens, and True Lies their physical 4K UHD releases, but the Digital Bits reports that the 4K release of The Abyss has been canceled in the UK because of the rat scene. Here's what the Digital Bits had to say. We've learned from industry sources that the 4K Ultra HD release of James Cameron The Abyss in the UK has been canceled for exactly the reason you think, the scene in which the rat is made to breathe underwater. UK censors asked for the scene to be cut. Disney apparently wanted to comply, but Lightstorm vetoed it. So if you want this title in 4K and you live in the UK, you'll have to import it from somewhere else. That's actually worse than there being an issue with the disc and the restoration, is that the UK wanted it censored because they didn't want to see a rat, an animal tortured for science fiction movie. Now, I do not know, because back in the day, Hollywood had some issues with the humane treatment of animals. I would assume that it was not, they didn't really drown a real rat, but I don't know until I investigate it. Let me see if it says something else here. UK censors want the scene to be cut despite the fact that the rats involved in the shooting, they weren't harmed. It says it right there. See? I start asking questions before I read ahead. Yeah. The rat lived, it breathed the specially treated water in the movie. It was liquid oxygen. But this brings up the censorship argument, Joe. These classic films, just because even if let me take this off. I'll read the rest of that. Even if it's not an animal actually being harmed, even if it portrays an animal being harmed, certain regions and governments in the world, or not governments, but certain regions of the world, want it to be taken and removed. So I really have come all the way around. I thought people online were being extremely hyperbolic about censorship and free speech. But for this type of situation, it's a science fiction movie. These are scientists. Even a portrayal of an animal, even though it's not actually being harmed, is too much. And I that is worse than what I thought was happening with this release. Is there was some backlash about the enhancements by AI and messing up the release with the quality. But this is censorship. Now, of course, you can import it from a different region, but what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't like it.
And when you watch movies on stream, how many movies on streaming, classic movies, have something, not everyone's a James Cameron. James Cameron won't stand for it. Sometimes these companies and these streamers, they say, you want residuals? You'll take the scene out.
I mean, here's how I kind of feel like it depends where you're watching something. Like, for example, people were throwing a fit because Disney Plus several years ago was covering up Daryl Hannah's butt in Splash. They CGI'd her hair to cover her butt because they were like, we can't have a naked butt on Disney Plus. And people were like, censorship. And on one hand, I was like, well, as long as it's not like that on a version you purchase. If you purchase a digital copy and if you purchase a Blu-ray, as long as it's not censored, I think they kind of have the right to censor it on a streaming service because they would censor things on television. When you would watch a show on TV, that's how you would get the yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon, things like that. So it all depends on where it's being censored. But I don't like the idea that you buy something, or in this case, they're not going to sell you something. It's like you can't even buy it. They're not going to sell it to you because of that. So
I don't like it.
Did you hear about the recent controversy? My friend Heath over at Serial at Midnight kind of uncovered this, but they cut a line out of the French Connection. The recent streaming versions of the French Connection, including ones you purchase, Gene Hackman's character dropped the N-word in the movie, and they cut it from the movie. And it was kind of to establish that his character was not a good guy. They were trying to
portraying a villain.
Yeah. Right. They were trying to establish that this guy is an asshole. This guy is a racist. This guy, but now it's cut from the movie.
Yeah. No, I don't like this. This is another reason that you may want to hold on. I'm not saying listen, it's not going to matter to everyone. It's not. Let's be real. But if you really value a movie, you might want to hold on to that movie, physical media in some form. VHS, DVD, or Blu-ray. Yeah. Very disappointed to hear that. I'm happy James Cameron stood his ground, and then you can import it. At least in this situation, you can import it,
Yeah, 4K discs are region free, so you can get a 4K disc from any region and it'll play.
Yeah. And that just is stupid for the UK too, then. Now they're just fans of James Cameron in the UK now have to pay a little bit extra more just to get that movie and complete their collection. It's just stupid.
Yep.
Yeah. Unless it's now, if they wanted to offer both versions on streaming, that's something I can at least understand. But not giving you a choice is something I can't agree with.
Several years ago, Sony,
if the director allows it, yeah.
Several years ago, Sony was, if you purchased a movie from Sony, like a digital movie, like Vudu, wherever you get digital movies, Amazon Prime, wherever, they would give you the movie uncut as it should played in theaters, but as an added bonus, they would give you the TV cut of the movie. The TV safe version where they would cut out the profanity and everything. And I thought it was fantastic because
options are not a bad thing if the director's okay with it. Some directors are like, you're not messing with my art at all.
Well, these do get cut when they're on TV. Like, if you show Ghostbusters on TV, or if you show, they'll cut the profanity out. And I said to my wife, this is fantastic because we can show our daughters movies that they're probably not ready to see You know, the we wouldn't show them an R-rated cut, but I grew up, and you probably grew up. We would watch movies that were inappropriate for us because they aired on television, and all the stuff that we shouldn't see was cut out of it. Like I would watch something like Police Academy 1. Police Academy 1 was rated R, but it aired on television, and all the
I'm sure if they released the Police Academy in 4K, they might try something too. The Police Academy series. I know it's been released to DVD and stuff, but if they try to, but I appreciate you being here, Joe. I'm going to take my medicine and go to bed because it is 3. I had a lot of fun talking some movie stuff. I'll probably be back tomorrow night. Go check out Joe's channel as well. And I think we both need to get some rest.
Yeah, I'm pretty damn tired.
Okay, so I'm just going to do this quick hour of power, and we'll see you next time.